Welcome to Tea Alchemy. My name is Brenai Alexandria. I am here with Dr. Dakira Watkins, one of my dear past counselors, mentors, mothers at work. Someone's guided me through so many challenges in my life when I was a young adult. Just getting into my 20s helped me through relationship issues, all types of stuff. And I'm so happy that you're here. It feels like a full circle moment.
Absolutely.
And you look so, I just can't get over this outfit.
Thank you. Thank you.
So tell me, what's been going on? What you've been working on? What's been on your heart?
Ooh, that's so loaded.
Yes.
Let me see. So first of all, thank you for having me. I feel honored and humbled to be here sitting on your sofa. All right. Yeah, it is feel like a full circle moment. It's an honor, and I greatly appreciate it. So what have I been up to? That's such a loaded question. It could go so many different directions, right? Wow. Was I married?
I think so.
Yeah, I had just gotten married 2015. Yeah, I had just gotten married in 2014. So I've been happily married now for 11 years.
Oh, wow. Oh, you really just got married. Yeah.
Yeah, to an amazing man that I met on the internet. That everybody said I was being crazy because we met and got married in less than 6 months.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know. That was 11 years ago. So I guess it worked out.
Yeah.
Right? I've been a mom all these years. So now I've seen my children. They've graduated from college. They are headed towards graduate school and living their best little lives. And so now I've just been able to really just focus on me, to be quite honest. I mean, my career is always going to be my career.
Right.
Still in love with young people. Still, they make my heart sing every day now in a different organization. But now I get to focus on me.
Yeah. Yeah, I can tell because you're really, really glowing. Like,
Oh, thank you.
You really are.
I'm at peace.
Yeah.
I'm at peace.
Okay. Well, tell me about the journey of getting to peace. Like, what is...
Ooh.
What does that look like? What does coming to peace look like?
So, I think there are different layers and levels of peace. Right? You know, you get that maybe daily dose of peace when it's your quiet time with yourself and your quiet time with God. That's one layer of peace. And then there's another layer of peace that you get around in your environment in terms of like your home, your workspace, or what have you. And then it's this other layer that's just, it's internal. And I can't tell you how you get there because I think everyone's journey is different, but you know when you've gotten there. Because you didn't realize that you were there. Because you were there.
That makes sense.
Right? And I know that was a lot of theirs, but literally, the moment when you realize you're at peace is because you've been at peace to now realize, oh, this is what peace feels like. This is what peace smells like. This is how you move in peace. Like the world right now is on this being unbothered.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that has such a negative connotation. Because it's meaning that you're not letting anything bother you.
Right.
Right? And that if something is bothering you, right, that's a negative energy. That's a negative vibe, right? But then when you're at peace, you don't even worry about being unbothered. Because you're at peace. And I've just lately realized, like, wow. Now, mind you, I'm 56 years old. So I probably would say somewhere around the beginning of my 56 years. So November is when it started to register. I was like, it's like a calm that you...
Wow.
It's just like... And I can't explain it.
It's funny because I watched the interview with Taraji P. Henson, and she said when she turned 50, she just stopped giving a fuck about a lot of things. She just said, at that moment, she just kind of like, it just is what it is. Damn, I can't wait to get to that point.
Oh, it's a journey.
Yeah.
It's definitely a journey.
Because this morning we were listening to Creflo Dollar, that's my pastor, and he likes to explain a lot about how a lot of the gifts that we have are really Jesus's gifts. Mm-hmm. So it's like our faith is Jesus's faith, our peace is Jesus's peace. Mm. So is it possible that the peace that you're talking about is just Jesus's peace, instead of us having to actively get to a certain point? It's just more so embodying and aligning with what's already in us.
It's not only aligning with it, but really embracing it, accepting it, and walking in it. Mm-hmm. And so one of the things that guides me every single day, is two that guide me every single day. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Mm-hmm. Every single day, I recite it at least twice a day. Mm-hmm. Because it just reminds me, no matter what is going on, to trust God. Mm-hmm. Because He will direct my path. Mm-hmm. Right? I don't even have to try to understand stuff. Nope. It's okay if I don't understand. Mm-hmm. I just have to trust and believe and know that it's going to work out. Yeah. That's the first thing. And then I remind myself on a daily basis of Psalms 139 and 14. I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. Mm-hmm. I'm one of one of God's most marvelous works. Mm-hmm. And we all are. And our souls know that. So you're right. It's always in us. Mm-hmm. No matter... Everything we desire is already in us. It's just a matter of, for lack of a better term, flipping the switch and turning the light on in that area so that whatever it is can come out. It can glow. Sort of like electricity, right? We know the electricity is there and it's running, but it's not until we turn on the light switch that we actually get to see it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because the power is of Georgia Power. But we can have the power sitting there, but if we don't flip the light on, what's the point?
Right, you have to do your part.
Yeah.
And our part is to turn the light on, and be a willing vessel to turn the light on.
Oh, that's good. Okay. So let's talk about you meeting your husband online.
Oh, I was married. And had 2 beautiful children. And things weren't the best in my first marriage. And I had to make a decision. I remember saying to myself, I was like, Dakira, you got a tough choice to make right now. It's either divorce this man now while you still like him and can get along with him and your kids are young. Like my son was 5 and my daughter was 3 or 2. I was like, you gotta do it now, because if you don't, you're gonna have to wait until they are 18 and they're gone off to school. And I was like, life is too short to be unhappy. Right. And life is too short to be unhappy. So, I was like, ooh. So I made that decision. And I stayed single for almost 10 years. But during that time, I finished my doctorate. Oh, okay. And I took good care of my mom. She moved in with us. And she helped me raise my children. And then she passed away in 2012. And I said to myself, okay, I got to figure this life out. And I was very fortunate, had a very strong village. My children's father was very active and solid in their life. And so, of course, I dated, right? And I kissed a lot of frogs. It was like, oh my God, this is awful. Yeah. Dating, trying to get to know people, especially at my age. I was in my 40s, so it was like, these knuckleheads out here. Right. Like, what kind of games are people playing? And remember I was trying to tell you, it's like 3 different types of dudes? Okay, yeah. Okay, so the first type of guy was the one who was, 40 plus, never been married, never had any kids, great career. So that type of person wasn't interested in someone my age, because he was either looking for someone who was childbearing years, which I was past that, or he was so full of himself because he's a unicorn, right? The world has him to believe that he's a unicorn.
Yeah.
So that was a tough one. And then it was the person who maybe they were also recently divorced. And so they weren't really ready for a relationship. And then there's the guy who is looking for a relationship, who wants a good relationship, but he too has had to kiss a lot of frogs. So it makes you think like, were they really who they are? And so I took to the internet, you know, trying to get to know people, various websites. And it's one day I said to myself, this is it, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
I am done. And then I had this little message. And it was from this guy. He was so cute. He was standing next to some lockers. I was like, oh, he's a teacher. And I was like, okay, so he likes kids. I can, you know, let me see. And what he wrote, first of all, it was like a complete sentence. The grammar was correct. But what he said was, you appear to be a woman of substance who I would like to spend some time and resources with.
Oh.
I was like, oh.
And resources.
I was like, what kind of resources you got? You know? and so he was like, I can give you my number. And I was like, oh, I do not call men. I don't, because that's not my job.
Expand on that a little bit.
So I am a woman of faith. And there are some things that I honestly do believe in terms of role. And it is a man's job to pursue, provide, protect.
So what do you think about those women who propose to men? Have you seen
horrible.
that? What if your daughter got on her knee and proposed to her man?
She would not.
What if she did?
She would not.
What would that conversation look like if she said, I think I want to propose to my man, my boyfriend?
And I would say, propose what?
Well, okay, we live in a different time, you know, women, we're equal and... Okay, so a man should be... It's more... Okay, so is it masculine for a woman to do that? Or would that put her in a driver's seat? Because me, I feel like I wouldn't approach a man because it puts me in a driver's seat of the relationship. And I don't want to do that. Because I know if I pick that role up, I'm going to always feel like I need to be in that role as driving a relationship.
That's loaded.
Yeah.
Again. But, so to answer the women proposing to men, I don't think I just think it's out of order. And I just do. And I would not wish that for myself or for my daughters. I would want the decision for them to get married to be something that they both decided upon, that they both agreed, that they both wanted it, and that sometimes I think when women do that, they're trying to push, and if a man is ready, he will ask you. If a man is not ready, he will get ready if he wants to be with you.
How much time should you give a man to be ready to propose? Especially, now I can understand.
People asking me all these, like, I got daughters. I got a 36, a 27, and a 23-year-old. Daughters.
They in different times.
And then from my sons, I have 33 and 25. Yeah.
33, 25. Dang, that's a broad spectrum.
Well, the first three are wedding gifts. So the older three are wedding gifts, and the younger two are from my first marriage. But we went all the way down, a whole way down. But no, I wouldn't want them to do that. I mean, it's their life, but there's a lot to be said for doing things in order. And I just wouldn't want that for them. If he wants to get married and you've let your request made known, if he's not asking, it's a reason. And you just gotta ask God to reveal to you what is the reason. Now, different ages and stages of life. I'm 56 years old, in my late 40s when I started dating. I really was just dating. And it wasn't until I made a decision that I wanted to be courted that I wasn't going to be somebody's girlfriend at, at 40 something years old.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, no.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I didn't want to be someone's girlfriend forever.
Mm-hmm.
So I was pretty clear. But my husband was also in category 3. He had been married previously for like 20 plus years. So these streets he did not like it out here in the world either.
It's terrible.
He was just like,
Yeah.
And so
He's ready to go back in the house.
Yeah. Yeah, he was ready. Yeah, he was ready to be with someone stable and consistent. And we met. Our first date was on let me back up. So I remember telling him, well, I don't know, if I could really take you seriously because I've never been divorced that long. As a matter of fact, you need to show me the papers.
Yeah.
Before I go on a date with you. And he was like, wow, you're so serious. I was like, yeah. And I'll never forget, he sent me a picture of them papers. I said, oh, okay. We can go. We can go out now. Because everything was final. And so our first date was the day after Thanksgiving in 2013. And we were married in May of 2014.
Wow. Okay.
But when you're older, I guess it doesn't even matter your age. If you know, you know. Now, if I was a young woman of childbearing age, I would be mindful, especially if I didn't already have kids. I would just be mindful of how much time am I spending, and is the direction that what's the direction that we're headed? And if y'all not headed in the same direction, then you get to choose as a woman. Do you stay in this environment, or do you go elsewhere? You decide.
So by that time, your kids were like 12, 13 or something like that?
My son was 13 and my daughter was 10.
Okay. Because I think that's my biggest issue in dating is like, at what point do you bring somebody around your kids? Or, especially my kids are small. I think around that age it's a little bit different. But women with smaller kids, what advice would you give with bringing somebody else into their life? Or is there a time frame on that? Because I've always said I want to be engaged before I even introduce them to my kids. So do you have any advice on that?
So happy medium. I think by the time you get to engagement, they should have met and have a relationship cultivated. Because I'll tell you this.
Okay.
So my daughter, she says to me, she was about 10, 11. She said, Mom, Joseph, that's my husband, Joseph, he's kind of like a pet. And I said, what? We were sitting in the room, I was combing her hair. She was like, yeah, he's kind of like a pet. I'm like, please tell me what do you mean by this? And she was like, well, how you really, 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 really want a dog. Like you want it so bad. You think about it all the time. You see it everywhere. You just really, really want a dog. I said, And she said, and then when you get it, it's a lot of work. You got to walk it. You got to feed it. You got to clean up behind it. She said, it's a lot. I said, yeah. She said, yeah. She said, and that's how you guys getting married was. She said, it was a lot. She was like, we know that you deserve to have somebody to love you and be with you and all that. She said, but y'all didn't think about the work it was going to require for us. I was like, wow. That
Damn,
was deep.
10 years old? Yeah, that's crazy.
She was like, he's like a pet. And so we still, to this day, talk about, yep.
Now, what work was she talking about? Just the emotional work or just the transition?
Everything. Because you got to, now all of a sudden somebody is living in your house that you, like, my children have only known 2 houses. Our first house and the house we live in now. They've never lived anywhere else. So a man moved into our house, right? And then his 2 children, so we had 2 more young people. They came into the house.
Oh, wow.
Right, so
Bunch.
yeah, we got thrown all together. And so it was an experience and a journey.
That is interesting.
But I'm glad that my children had the chance to get to know him before we got married. Because that kind of set the stage.
Now, was there anything you were looking for when it came to him interacting with the kids?
So we got blessed.
Uh-huh.
Remember I said he was standing by the lockers and he was so cute? So he was a middle school, well, he is a middle school teacher. And at the time, my children were in middle school.
Yeah.
And at the time, I was working at Year Up with young adults, and his children were young adults.
Oh, wow.
Right.
That's
So,
interesting, yeah.
yes, so it was like God gave both of us what we needed, not just for us as a couple, but also for our family.
Yeah. Huh. Okay. So, were you praying for that? Well, I guess you were prayerful. So, during the dating process, I'm sure you were kind of like talking to God about.
Okay, so I actually made this vision board that had everything on it that either I had to offer, and then everything that I desired in a mate. And I would pray over that board. I put pictures of couples that I admire. So I have a picture of like Michelle and Barack Obama, and I have a picture of my pastor and First Lady on there, and just, you know, all these things, travel, all these things I wanted to make sure I would have. And then I put this little bitty piece of paper that says, and anything else, God, that you know that I need that I don't. Because you don't know what you need sometimes until you need it. And you don't know that you need it until you need it. And you don't know if a person has it until you need it. And when you need it, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But it was something that you would have never thought about. So.
You want some water? Or?
I'm good for right now. Okay. But, yeah. I just prayed. I would march around that little board like the walls of Jericho. And I would just praise God in advance for the great person he was going to let me have. And how I was going to be a better person because of this person. And we were going to have a beautiful life. Oh my goodness. I would just pray and pray and pray. And literally, the day that I was like, you know what, I'm done. And I was getting ready to take my profile down is when I got his message.
Hey. Aww.
And then it was just crazy. Like when I say crazy, I mean like it was God ordained. So we went to the same college, but he graduated in May of '87. And I started school in August of '87. So we missed each other.
Wow.
Right, but this is where it gets even more interesting. I had a full scholarship to Southern Illinois University.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm from Chicago, right? Southern Illinois. And at the last minute, I made the decision to come to Clark. He had a full ride to Southern Illinois University for his doctorate.
Oh, wow.
But he got married in August of '87, and they went to Carbondale. Can you imagine? Like, was our path supposed to meet there?
Hey, that's interesting.
It gets better. So it's like, which one of us did it? Was it him getting married, or was it me changing my mind? Or did I change my mind because he had gotten married, and it wouldn't have made sense for us to meet then? Right? Because our children needed to come into the earth.
Yeah.
And he and his first wife were assigned to bring those three into the world. And my first husband and I were assigned to bring our two into the world.
Yeah.
So they had to come through, so we couldn't have met. But this is how it gets really crazy. So we both went to Clark. So Clark Atlanta University. So we know all the same people. Like all the same people. It's crazy how many people we know the same. So on our first date, you know, we're going to, you know, check the box questions. Do you have any pets? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I have a dog. Her name is Coco. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, Coco? I said, hold on 1 second. I called my friend. I said, hey, will you tell this gentleman what my dog's name is? Because I want someone else to tell him. And she was like, what? Everybody knows your dog's name is Coco. So we had dogs with the same name.
Wow.
Yes. So it was always interesting in the house because his dog was Big Coco and my dog was Little Coco. But it would be funny because his dog would answer me when I would say Big. I never called her really Coco. I just called her Big. And she would always come to me when I called her Big. And then they would call my Coco Little. And she would go when she was called Little. It's interesting. So that was one of the first things, right, that we were like, ooh, this is weird. And then, you got me telling you all my business.
I'm trying to get to know Dr. D.
But then, you know, we had our first date and it was nice. We had little drinks, appetizers, you know, that kind of thing. Just like a meet and greet. And so I told him, I said, you know, I don't have any parents. Both of my parents are deceased. It's just basically me and my children and my cousin here in Atlanta. So, you know, my real family is my spiritual family, my church family. Those are my people. Right? Something happened, them people I call. And I said, so any man that really wants to be with me is going to have to get past my pastor because he's my spiritual father.
Yeah.
He was like, okay, whatever. You know, that was kind of like his attitude. He was like, all right, yeah. That was on a Friday night. So he didn't talk to me on Saturday. Like, we did not talk on Saturday. And I was like, well, was it not a good day?
Yeah.
Sunday, I walk into my church. And there he is.
Oh, wow.
At my church. And I was like, what in the
so
world?
you weren't playing no games.
And that's what he said. He said, I thought about it yesterday. He said, and you told me that any man that wanted to be with you was going to have to get past your pastor. And I decided I needed to come and see where I was going to be spending some of my time because I want to be with you. And we have been together ever since.
Damn.
Ever since. And then, this lady at my church, she asked me, are you dating Dr. Watkins? And I was like, oh, Lord, I knew it was going to be something somewhere.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? Well, why do you ask? And mind you, she never asked me no questions before. You know. And I said, why do you ask? And she said, well, if you're not, you should. I said, oh, really? Why? She said, I didn't know he was single. I was like, why y'all in this man's business? Right? But she said, well, you should. I was like, why? She said, because he helped save my son's life.
Oh.
She said, my son was cutting up in school, wasn't doing his work. She said he got him to play basketball and to run track. He had him join, some teams at school. She said, and he turned it around.
Dang.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's crazy. Like there's so many crazy coincidences. Like we have the same doctor.
That is crazy.
Exactly.
Y'all lives were tailored.
Yes, they were
to
always.
match.
It was like always so close.
What the heck? Okay, let me keep hope alive.
Yeah. You might be walking past him right now at the program. Don't even know it.
That's interesting. Cause with social media, because I know you be on social media. I don't know what you be seeing, but
too much. Some people have to unfriend because it's like I can't see all this.
It's too much. Because it's like you have the people who say, "Oh, if you have children, no man's gonna want you." Oh, black women are not gonna get married and all of this stuff. Like, because to me, that only represents a small percentage of men. But I don't know, because I understand in my book, Beauty from Brokenness, I forgot when I was 2018, 2019. In the book, I talk about how a woman should be, if you're looking for a specific type of man, you got to be a specific type of woman for that man. Like I don't feel like you can write a list about this perfect man and you kind of like, if you want a man that's gonna be jogging at 6 a.m., he might want somebody to jog with him. If you ain't jogging, he ain't gonna want you. So, do you think some of our expectations are too high for men, or do you think that a lot of men just aren't, where they should be as far as being, I don't know, marketable in the dating world?
First of all, I'd like to give glory and honor to God, who is the head of my life, for removing me from that space. Because I couldn't even imagine at this age.
It's a lot.
Yeah. So I'm just a firm believer that you have to be, what you desire. Mm-hmm. Right? So you just gave a beautiful example. Mm-hmm. If you want a man that's physically fit, that goes to the gym or runs at 6 a.m., then you're going to have to be the type of woman that goes to the gym and runs at 6 a.m. Or maybe you don't run at 6 a.m., but you run at some point.
At some point, yeah.
So that you all can have that in common, as well as be in a position where you can support and encourage him to do, like, to run his marathons or what have you, or you run yours, whatever. But I don't think you can ask someone to be something that you are not.
Right, okay.
And so it doesn't matter, like, standards, they vary from person to person. There's some fundamental, principles I think that everybody wants. Be honest, be fair, don't hit nobody, don't treat them bad, contribute to the finances of the household and all that. But everybody has a different standard. Where one woman would tolerate, another one may not. What one man would tolerate, another man may not. So you just have to be true to yourself.
Yeah.
And what are your core values, right? What are the things that you truly believe in? What's really important to you? And then you shouldn't compromise.
Well, okay, so the difference between standards and preferences. Now, the standards are like your foundational stuff that you name. The preferences would be sort of like looks and height and money and stuff like that, right?
Because I think standards, I mean, you have a certain standard of the type of person that you are attracted to. Preference might get into, I don't know, because I think your preferences are shaped by your standards.
Because some of those things, like, okay, if a woman says she wants a man that's 6 feet, she can bend on that a little bit. Like, if you find a guy who believes in God, is very honest, good dad, whatever, but he's like 5'9", now would you say that's a compromise that you shouldn't bend on if you want a guy that's 6 foot? Or is that okay to have a little wiggle room in?
I would think something like that could be a wiggle room space.
Yeah.
unless that woman that's vitally important to her. Because then if that's the case, she should never look at the 5'9" guy. She wouldn't look at the 5'9" guy in the first place. Because she's interested in the 6 foot guy.
Yeah. You ain't wrong though. This is like, I think it's Atlanta. I think a big problem in dating is being in Atlanta, because I don't know if I'm tripping, but okay, me and some girls went out a couple nights ago, and there was a lot of guys kind of standing around, but the energy was weird. It was almost like they were looking at you in order for you to approach them. So it's just like, I don't know if some type of energetic role has been reversed, or is trying to reverse, where it's like men want to be chased, or if that's just the Atlanta thing. I don't know, but what do you think the differences are? Is it fear based? Is it just the internet just getting into a lot of men's heads, or what do you think the energetic shift is? Because something's going on.
Wow. First of all, so the pack is never a good thing. Like if you are trying to, like if you're going out or what have you, a pack of people, it never works out really for either group, because a man would be afraid to come up to a pack of women and face rejection unless he is extremely confident in himself. Right?
That makes sense.
And I don't like that whole chasing men. I think that's just ridiculous. I really, really do. Maybe it's the old school in me, but it's a man's job is to provide, protect, pursue, and a woman's job, at least in my book, is to let him know that it's okay to pursue me. It's okay.
Yeah.
But
because even after sometimes after the initial meet and greet or whatever, he gets your number or whatever, there's still a level of mind games that comes along with it. Now, I can understand a little cat and mouse. I can understand, dating, it is kind of a game, but there's a lot of mind games going on, like tactical, psychological games, where it's like, I'm not going to text you for this amount of time. Oh, let me watch this YouTube video to see how I can control women. There's a bunch of videos out about how to control women. There's a bunch of videos about women trying to get money from men and how you can manipulate a man out of his money and stuff like that. So I can kind of understand where men are coming from in a lot of these ways, because recently, well, not even super recently, but around COVID, maybe a little bit before COVID, the music started to shift a little bit, where women were more so talking about, oh, get him for his money, take his money and everything. And now these guys start even getting scared of taking you on a date because they think you're trying to use him for his little his little dinner money. So it's just like, I can understand the fear that comes with that, but it's just like, it's very hard to, for one, I don't feel like playing no games. Like, you know, I feel like a woman should kind of sit back. I don't think a woman should pursue and pursue and pursue, but I think men do want to be, I do think they should know that you're actually interested in them. Mm-hmm. But it's just like, everybody wants power in this dynamic, and it's exhausting.
So my first response goes to, have you prayed? Have you prayed about it? Have you sought God's guidance and wisdom? Ask the Holy Spirit for guidance and wisdom on how to date. Because in the Bible, I don't think they dated, right? But even still, in this day and age, dating with intention and dating with a purpose, right? If your dating is just, I'm dating for companionship, that means you just stick with companionship. You don't do the stuff that you're not supposed to do, right? And being mindful and preserving yourself for the person who becomes your spouse and the person that you share your life with. And the world doesn't teach that anymore.
Yeah.
It really doesn't. And the whole, like you just said about music, oh my God, it is like trash. However, it also is on that feminist side of women, like you said, equals, and women's empowerment. So it's still a very fine line, right? Because you do want your daughters, your sisters, your friends to be empowered. But in the same breath, there's still some fundamental things that, at least I know for me and what I desire for my daughters, that they receive in a partner. But yeah, no, you couldn't pay me 50 cents to be out in this world right now the way, what it looks like. However, I go back again to the readiness, my 3 types, the readiness, that third person, that third type, if they are truly in a posture, in a position that they are desiring a companion and a wife, they're way different than the dude that's just looking for a good time girl.
That's true.
They're way different. They're way different. And you just have to pay attention. And then ask God to help you. Like, open my eyes so I can clearly see. Yeah. Right? Open my ears so that I'm able to clearly hear your voice and to hear what this person is really saying. And then let me see what they're really doing. Right? Open up my heart so that I can receive. Because that's the other flip side to it all. Right? You spend so many time kissing frogs. Yeah. Your heart gets a little hardened. And if you're quiet, my pastor always talks about this, my bishop always talks about this. If you're quiet long enough, women, we be right? Right. But if you're quiet long enough, you'll know exactly what type of person it is. Because from the heart come the issues of life. What is in a man's heart comes out of his mouth. So if all he's talking about is how fine you are and how he gonna do this to you and that to you and that's what's in his heart for you. Yeah. That's what's in his heart for you.
Did you say you wanted some water?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
No problem.
I was thinking about that. But that's what's in his heart. What comes out of his mouth. So if all he got to say to you is how fine you are all the time and don't want to talk about, anything, just be mindful.
But see, that goes back to what I was saying about me kind of betraying my intuition. Because a lot of times we be knowing.
Oh yeah, we know.
Yeah, it's just like we kind of ignore, because we don't feel like waiting anymore. Because it's like, this is not the guy that God wants you to be with, but I'm bored. I need a situationship. I want to go out. I want to go on dates. I don't want to be alone anymore. And then it ends up being a guy that you shouldn't have gave a chance in the first place. And it's like, damn, I knew something was wrong with him when I met him, but I still did it anyway. So it's like,
but they're taking up the space that the right person could come and occupy.
Yeah.
But you're holding space for someone or something that is not what you desire, as well as not what God has for you. Like, we have a God that has the cattle on 1,000 hills. Like, he wants us to have beautiful lives. He wants us to have life. He wants us to have it more abundantly. And that means in every area of our life, right? He wants us to have good health. He wants us to prosper, even in our souls. So it's like, why settle?
Yeah.
Why settle? Yeah. But the hardest part is, I think you said it a little bit ago, about what we see on social media and life in general, right? Or people having expectations on your life, but their life isn't where it should be.
Right.
But, they expect you to be at a certain place, at a certain age, doing a certain thing with a certain person, And you just have to be willing to let all that go and trust God.
Yeah.
And know that his plan is even bigger and better. Because I promise you, we literally got married May 25th. So that was barely 6 months. Our first date was the day after Thanksgiving.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Okay, well, let's shift a little bit to your books over here.
Oh, we had to do them in order.
Oh, okay.
Let me know.
Let me know.
Let's do them in order.
Which one first?
Let's do them in order because they all came from a different stage of this journey.
Okay, which one first? This one's first? Okay, Adjusting My Crown, a self-discovery journey for your hair loss journey.
Oh. Yes.
Nice.
Thank you.
Okay.
And let's really get into it, right? Because this journal came because I was struggling. So I've had alopecia for probably now 20 years. And so I was, wigging and weaving and covering it up and all these things. And I would be so tired. I was always late, right? And people would say, oh, you were so busy, getting, diva-fied. Little did they know I was really at home because I had tried on 2 different wigs. Maybe I had flat ironed my hair 3 different times trying to cover up my bald spot. I then sprayed the spray, waiting for it to dry, what I was going through. And so no one ever knew that.
Yeah.
And I was always worried, wind blowing, Lord, my track showing, then I was hot all the time with them wigs on. And I had said to myself, well, when I make 60, I'm just going to shave it off when I'm 60. And one day, I was like, I am only 53 years old. 60 is a long time away. Right? And so, like I told you, life is too short. Right? Life is also too long to do something that you don't want to do and to keep putting off. So I said, okay, I'm gonna do it. But then it sent me through all these changes. Like I was like, oh my God, what if my husband doesn't like it? And what if people make fun of me? And what how am I gonna be perceived? My hair, as always, was perfectly coiffed, right? I always had like the best bob, or the old ombre is my favorite, still to this day. Anyway, so I was like, trying to talk to myself because I didn't have anyone to talk to at all, except for my best friend, which she had no idea how to support me. And so I was like, I've got to get this together and find my place. And so that's how adjusting my crown came to be. Because I started journaling. And I was like, you know what? I get to choose how my day is. And so how adjusting my crown came to be is the first page of every day starts with, today I want to think and feel whatever. Right? So I want to think and feel something positive, something productive. And then today I will adjust my crown by, some days it might be making sure I eat lunch.
Yeah.
Or making sure I hit my water goal. Or dancing, to my favorite song. But whatever it is, something that will help you adjust your attitude. And maybe I spend extra time in prayer or read a scripture every hour or something. But something to help you adjust your crown and get your mind right. And then every day you can write yourself an affirmation. And then you set the mood. I'm a firm believer in setting the atmosphere in everything and every place that you go. And so it's got a couple of different places where you can check off what type of mood you would like for the day. So I believe that when you declare and decree your day, it is established.
Yeah.
So that, and then I believe in ending the day with gratitude. And so at the end of your day, you can write about being grateful for something. So, like, what did you learn today? What is something that you learned about yourself or others today? What good things happened today? Because everyone always wants to talk about what's bad, but what good things happened today? Right? And then I am proud of how I handled whatever that negative or challenging way. The prompt is, well, I'm really proud of how I handled whatever that situation may have been versus this was a bad thing. Right? I'm really proud that I didn't knock that person's block off.
Right, exactly.
Right? And then my favorite moments of the day were. And that's how I got through making the decision to become what I like to say, divinely crowned.
You had to build yourself up.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had to talk myself. Like the song says, sometimes you have to encourage yourself. Oh, I was encouraging myself. I had to do it. And so I went to my beautiful hairstylist. She was amazing. She was so amazing to me because she tried everything. Everything. She even started studying trichology because she wanted to understand what was happening with me, and she had a few other clients. And so I went to her. I was going on a trip. And I said, today's the day. She said, today's the day for what? I said, today's the day we're going to just take it all off. She said, are you sure? That was the first thing. She was like, are you sure? I was like, yeah, I'm sure. I'm going on a trip. And for 15 years, I hadn't been in the water past right here.
Oh, wow.
Because you think about it. First of all, black women in the pool and all that, we already have issues. But mine were further complicated because I was worried if I got my hair wet, then you would see my tracks.
That's so limiting.
Yes. Yes. Here. So I done been on cruises to the beach. Oh, girl, I was like a fish.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's,
We have a pool in our neighborhood. I wouldn't go past right here. And I said, I'm tired. And my line sisters and I were going on our 35th anniversary trip. And I said, and you know what? I'm going to enjoy this trip.
Yeah.
I said, I have paid my money. I'm going to enjoy every moment of this trip. And not be worrying about my hair.
Exactly.
And so we shaved it off. And that was it. I didn't tell nobody. I didn't even tell my husband.
Really?
No, I told no one. Because I didn't want anybody to try to talk me out of it.
Yeah.
Right? I had already gotten, so many different things. Oh, your hair is your crown and glory. And it was right after the incident with Jada Pinkett Smith and all that. I was like, no. I don't want anybody trying to talk me out of it. I just want to do it and do it in peace. And so my stylist was so beautiful that day. She set the atmosphere. Music, and we had some candles.
So sweet.
Oh, she was amazing.
The ceremony. That's sweet.
Yes, she is amazing. She makes really good wigs too.
Yeah, let me get information.
But so I did it. And when I walked through the door, my husband looked. He got real close. He just started kissing me on my head. He was like, yes. And so
that's so sweet.
it was beautiful. I was so happy. And my kids were so happy. They were like, thank God. Because they were like, you always made us late. But the biggest thing was my church family. Because I also know that it was a testimony. Because there's several women who don't have any edges, right? The traction alopecia from pulling your hair in that way. Or like I have alopecia areata, so I can grow hair all here. So when we finally shaved my hair, my hair was like down to here. But it was bald in the middle, so I have areata. Then there's totalis or universal, where people, don't have eyebrows or lashes. I'm so glad I have lashes, and I'm so happy I have eyebrows. But
I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know that was all.
Yeah, it's hair. It's hair, and it's basically your immune system attacks your hair follicles, for lack of a better term. It's an autoimmune disorder.
Okay.
And so I was always getting like sick. But not like sick, but just like sick. Like if I got on the plane, my throat would hurt. If I got too cold, I would get sick. If I got wet, I would get sick. If I got wet and then was cold. I mean, so that's when we realized what was happening. Because it started off, I'll never forget, it was like a little bitty, like a dime. And I was working on my doctorate. So I was like, oh, maybe I'm just stressed.
Out, right.
But then it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I mean, I did everything. I had the shots in my head, all that. I mean, I tried everything under the sun.
Yeah.
And then I just finally started covering it up. And the hard part is that, it wasn't a lot of people to talk to about it. And so I started coloring to like relax myself and to find peace. And I said, you know what? I am fearfully and wonderfully made, and I bet there are other women that are struggling like this as well. And so that's how I made this book. And this one is called I Am Fearfully and Wonderfully Made. It's a coloring journal, a coloring and journaling experience in honor of alopecia awareness. And what happened was I was actually on sabbatical, and I just spent my sabbatical writing about being fearfully and wonderfully made. And about, living and surviving and thriving with alopecia. And also just the beauty of coloring and what coloring does.
A real sabbatical. You was
healing. Yes, absolutely. And each page has a scripture, but they're all images of women in different ways that are really not complete images. So you can color them, whatever you like. The quotes are empowerment. So, for example, this one says, "My mind is blooming with ideas, but it's flowers."
Yeah.
Right? And then this one says, "I see me."
That is nice.
Thank you. And then imagery of women, "I am beautiful, I am bold." Just something simple. Right? And then I also have scriptures, right, that talk about being beautifully, right? "You are altogether beautiful, my darling. There is no flaw in you." From Song of Solomon 4 and 7. So, just that. But then, and this is really, that I was able to take a picture of myself and animate it. And turn it into a coloring sheet.
That's cool.
That was the first picture that was taken of me after I became divinely crowned.
Wow.
And so it's called A Fresh Start.
Oh, I love that.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a real journey. Like, wow.
Yes.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Because that's really limiting. You can swim like a fish, and you didn't swim for 15 years? And I bet it feels so good.
Yes. Every day I'm in the shower. But here's the funny thing, though. Even with a shaved head or divinely crowned, you don't feel like shaving every day.
Oh, yeah. It was a lot. Dying and it was a lot to keep my hair low,
But it's an amazing feeling to get in the shower. I'm not worried about my hair. But here's the question. What am I doing with that time and that money? Like, where's the money?
True.
Where's the money? I mean, what am I doing with all the money? But, it is.
Now, do you still wear wigs? Or you just...
So let me tell you, I haven't worn a wig in a while. So like one day last year, I put on a wig just to, see. And it was like, okay. And then my birthday was a couple of weeks ago in November. And I wore a wig on my birthday. That thing was so hot.
Yeah, you like, take me no more.
I said, I can't. I took that thing off in the car. I did. Which reminded me of this one, right? Telling the story. So basically, if I could like walk away from today with like being able to share a lesson, right? A word of wisdom, it really is Proverbs 139. Verse 14, about just being fearfully and wonderfully made. It starts with, I praise you, O Lord, because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I am one of your most marvelous works, and my soul knows that.
Ooh.
And that verse carried me through these two experiences. The one, needing a safe place to like talk to someone about what I was experiencing, and then the second one, to curate something to commemorate and honor women who are going through either a hair loss journey or just a journey in general. Because there's so many reasons why people have a hair loss experience. Everything from medications to lupus to cancer. I mean, there's just so many, many reasons. Yeah. Right? I had so many people walk up to me like, I'm praying for your healing. Like, one of my little babies at church was like, Minister Dakira, I'm praying that God grows your hair back. I said, don't waste your prayer for that one. I said, I don't want it. It's okay. I said, I've accepted it now. I said, save your prayer. I'll let you know when I need you to pray for me for something. And she was like, okay. And she just gone off. But she was so sincere. Yeah. I was like, oh baby, that's so sweet. I said, but save your prayer for what I really need. Yeah. Save it.
That's funny.
But because of these two experiences, it made me seek community. Because I knew there had to be somewhere. Right. And so in social media, there are so many empowerment groups for women with alopecia. I started one, it's called Divinely Crowned. And so I have that group. And then I joined so many other groups. And within that group, I met some women. We wanted to tell our story. And so we told our story in a book called Baldness with Boldness, Unmasking Alopecia, Revealing Resilience. And everyone wrote, their chapter and their journey. And, you know me, I've always enjoyed a good laugh and just dealing with reality. Right? Sometimes you have to laugh to keep from crying. Yeah. And so I wrote my story about one day driving home with a wig on. And how... all my wigs had names, right? And so this one particular, I called her Connie after my mom. It was a classic bob. It was so cute. And I was hot. And I'm debating with myself. Or me and Connie are debating with each other. It's like, she's like, girl, don't you take this wig off. Don't you take it off, because people are going to see. And I'm like, but it's hot. Remember, I told you, my real hair still was like down on my shoulders. So it was all like slicked back in a ponytail, but bald all here.
Geez, that is hot. Yeah.
I was hot. And I was just like, no, I got to take it off. And just going back and forth with myself. Finally, I said, forget it. I don't care who sees me. I'm hot. Because I'm also a woman of a certain age. So I took that wig off at the red light, and I looked over, and the people next to me were like, yeah! Wow. And I was like, thank you. Peace out. But it was just the reality of accepting and saying, and that was like part of the journey to acceptance.
Yeah, that moment is really cool though, for them to be cheering you on like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but then when I walked to the house, I remember my son was like, "You drove home without your wig on?" He was like, and then this is what he said. Oh, you was hot. And I was very hot that day. So, and then what made it so bad is I left her in the car, and she ain't never been right since then. It's kind of like it was hot.
If she melted, what happened?
She kind of got like warped a little, like frizzed. I had to throw her away. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry.
Honey.
Gone, honey, gone but not forgotten.
Yeah.
Gone but not forgotten.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing your story with me.
Oh, yeah, my pleasure.
That's very empowering. Because like I said before, people always feel like you can't ever glow up at a certain age. And it's just like, glow up is every day. Like every day is something that you have to work with every day. What do they say? Crucify the flesh every day.
Yes,
every day you have to do it. But I could talk to you all day.
Oh, thank you. I've enjoyed our time. But you said crucify the flesh every day. I like to look at it from this lens.
What?
God gives us new mercies every morning.
Ah.
So yes, I know we should die, crucify our flesh, but just think every day He gives us new mercies.
Ah, that's a better way to think of that.
They're new every morning.
Yeah.
They're new every morning. New, so.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm. They're new.
That. And tell me your credentials, because you know, I need to let the people know that I'm talking to a doctor here.
Oh.
But I don't know how to name it.
Oh my goodness, you're so sweet. So ultimately, I have a master's degree in social work, and then I have a doctorate in social work, which is in program policy, planning, and administration from the Whitney M. Young Jr. School of Social Work at Clark Atlanta University.
Cool. Okay, you got full circles everywhere.
Oh yes, yes.
All right, well, I appreciate you for being here.
Thank you.
And I love you.
I
You
love
look
you
so
too.
good. I'm telling you, don't be surprised if you see me on Instagram and Facebook with this outfit on.
Clock it.
You're gonna be like, okay.
Hey, imitation is the highest form of
Exactly,
flattery.
and I'm gonna definitely flatter you.
Yes, I'll give you my girls' information where I got it
for
from.
sure, 'cause you just look so good.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
No problem. And this has been Tea Alchemy with Dr. D.
Thank you.
We are out.
Thank you. That was so much fun.
That was fun. We're gonna do a part 2. Oh, Lord. Oh, pause.